Hello everyone, this is Group 2. Today we are going to talk about the Singtel Group, and for our assignment, we will be focusing more on its mobile business in the Singapore market. The Singtel Group is a communications company offering services such as mobile, data, internet, and TV. It has 140 years of operating experience with offices in Asia Pacific, Europe, and the USA. Currently, it has 23,000 staff and over 700 million subscribers around the world. Its investments include Bharti Airtel in India, South Asia, and Africa, Telkomsel in Indonesia, Globe Telecom in the Philippines, and Advanced Info Service in Thailand. Let's start with external environment analysis. First, let's take a look at PEST Analysis. So, in the political and legal side, Singapore is a politically stable and highly industrialized country. The government has deregulated the telecom industry to some extent, and it welcomes the competition, which helps to deliver the market. A company like Singtel has many competitors, such as M1, StarHub, and new entrants like mobile virtual network operators. Next, let's talk about the economic aspect. Singapore's globalization presents challenges in terms of blurred national boundaries as well as the subsequent increase in competition. However, it also presents opportunities for internationalization. In terms of social and culture, because of the kiasu mindset and the increasing population, potential customers that with higher purchasing power are expected. In recent years, the customer behavior shifting more towards mobile and digital, especially the young generations. Their lifestyle are always kind of on the go. Technological-wise, the emerging technologies such as 5G and artificial intelligence bring opportunities to enhance existing telecommunications capabilities and improve operations. Also, there are web-based communication alternatives which act as threats of substitution. For example, messenger services like WhatsApp, video call platforms like Zoom. Next, let's use Porter's 5 Force framework to further analyze. First, let's take a look at the threats of substitutes. We think it's high as other communication methods are gaining traction, such as VoIP, WhatsApp, and Viber. Also, there is growing demand for no-contract, SIM-only packages. The bargaining power of buyers we think is also high because the switching cost for other telecoms or alternatives like VoIP is low. The bargaining power of suppliers is moderate. One of the reasons is lacking suppliers who can provide extensive and reliable mobile network infrastructure. The second reason is that switching cost for suppliers is relatively high due to long-term contracts. In terms of the threat of new entrants, we think it's low because we believe the entry barriers for new players are high due to 3 reasons that we have mentioned in the slides below. The last part is about intensity of rivalry. We think it's also high. Why is that? Because 1. The stiff competition due to similarities in product bundles and services. 2. Because the switching cost between telecoms is low to customers. 3. The diminishing market performance leads to even fierce competition. After examining the external environment, it's time to take a look at the internal analysis. So here we have this table illustrating how we identify the core competencies of Singtel using the VIRO framework. So here we have picked up 3 of them as the core competencies of Singtel. The first one is innovation. The Singtel has invested a lot in emerging technologies and they keep enhancing their current capabilities. It is possible to imitate and substitute, but it will be very costly for other companies to do so. The second is the reputation. So Singtel is a well-known brand. The brand itself is intangible, but it is a valuable factor for many customers choosing a mobile provider. It is also very hard to imitate. The third one is the human resource. So Singtel is known for its heavy investment in the HR field. Their well-trained employees also spur on innovation and efficiency. It is unique to the company and it's hard for other companies to imitate. However, finding and retaining the right employees also requires significant resources. Next, let's take a look at the business strategy part. So, in the Singapore mobile market, Singtel competes based on board differentiations, including tangible ones such as products and bundling sales, and also intangible ones such as sponsorships. And the differentiations are found at various points of its value chain, such as suppliers, infrastructure, operations, and products. It is noticeable that Singtel made its business strategy based on the external environment conditions, such as increased competition, technological changes, and consumer behavior changes. And that is why Singtel emphasizes a lot on the product and service differentiation. They also did heavy investments in R&D and into infrastructure such as 5G network. They also put a lot of effort in developing new products and services. So far, we have been focusing on the mobile business. It is time to look at the corporate level and gain an overall view. So now, let's take a look at the corporate strategy part. As you can see from the table, Singtel has 3 main business units, including consumer, enterprise, and digital life. I will not be able to zoom into details because of the time constraints, but you can easily find that there is only one business unit that's related diversification, which is the consumer one, and the mobile business that we were talking about earlier is also under the consumer business unit. And as we highlighted here, you can easily find that different business units creates different values to the company. Next, let's go out of Singapore and take a look at the international strategy. So Singtel describes itself as a regional leader in telecom industry, and it has been actively seeking business opportunities such as partnerships and acquisitions in the global market. It is essential for Singtel to go international because of the small domestic market, and so far Singtel has focused in countries in Southeast Asia, which we think is within a reasonable distance according to the analysis we did using the CAGE framework. We think M&A is the most suitable entry strategy for Singtel to take when going global because it provides strong local foundations which will help Singtel to adapt smoothly into the local market. And the multinational model works best to establish Singtel outside Singapore, even though it also presents some challenges for Singtel to work on. The last part of our presentation is the summary and the recommendations. As we went through all the analysis, we can see that Singtel developed its strategy based on its external and internal environment, and the strategies are also aligned with the company's vision and mission. The whole strategy formation is in response to the question of how do we create our competitiveness value with what we have in hand and within the market that we are currently in. The recommendation part has been divided into 2 slides. The first slide illustrates the things that we think Singtel should keep on pursuing, including continue investing in 5G technology, develop cybersecurity strengths in core competency, pursue deeper relationships with government in foreign markets, and continue developing partnerships in technology and digital content. As for the things we think Singtel should drop, including first, as they aiming to become the best communication technology company in APAC, they should avoid expanding outside APAC region for the time being. Second, they should avoid relying on mobile plans for differentiation so that they can keep themselves away from the price war. We also think they should drop the digital marketing business and the premium video streaming business because they are neither related to the core competencies nor to the core business. With that, we come to the end of our presentation. Thank you for watching.